Hello everybody and welcome back to the HTAB YouTube channel, where today you find me here in my room. Quite a familiar location of the channel. I've been here many times before, but the angle itself is slightly different because you're on my tripod, I'm sat on my bed, and today is a fantastic day. So if you've read the title or seen the thumbnail or paid any sort of attention to those sort of things, you'll know what the video is about. Recently, as I filmed this in early November, I think, what is it, like 10th of November, that's what it is today, Ember, the electric coach company here in Scotland, has recently introduced the E9 service between, well, Edinburgh and Inverness, and obviously vice versa, following on from the E8, which launched roughly, well, when did it launch? I'm just having a look actually. I'm not too sure. Well, I mean, it launched like a month and a bit ago, less than a month. It's recent. With recent developments, obviously I made a video on that comparing transport prices between ScotRail, Ember, Flixbus and CityLink. That video proved popular, and that urged me to actually give the route a try, sort of in comparison with CityLink. As I spoke, there is also the E9 service, which is like the Edinburgh to Inverness service, which they've introduced recently. So, that service in question is, like I said, between Inverness and Edinburgh, goes down the A9. So they've now got two services going down the A9, the E8 from Inverness to Glasgow, and the E9 from Inverness to Edinburgh. Very cool indeed. But as I mentioned in that video, there is other public transport providers that head down the A9, not just going between the cities, down the A9 in question. In fact, there is now 3 bus companies that operate services down there. So, CityLink, with the M10 service from Inverness to Glasgow. They also have the M90 service from Inverness to Edinburgh, and the M91 from Inverness to Edinburgh, which runs a couple of times a day via places such as Newtonmore, and where else does it go? I can't actually think. Dalwhinnie, does it go places like that? I don't know. It's got slight differentiations in the routes. It's slightly varied, but that doesn't matter here. The other company is Flixbus with the 094 service between Inverness and Edinburgh, and the 093 service between Inverness and Glasgow. That's another operator that provides services on the route. And now there is, of course, Ember with the E6, the E8 and the E9 between Inverness and Edinburgh and Inverness and Glasgow. So, from Inverness, they all follow the same route. Head out of Inverness, straight down the A9, Aviemore, Pitlochry, Knockingussie, then there's like Perth, and then merging off towards the cities via Stirling and places like that, en route towards the capital city and the second largest city in Scotland, that being Glasgow. They all terminate at the bus stations within Glasgow, so Glasgow Buchanan bus station, and in Edinburgh, Ember uses George Street, beautiful photo right here, ooh. And the other 2 operators use the bus station, that is like, well, right in the centre of the city, straight slap bang convenient, but well, they're both within sort of walking distance of each other, the stops. That isn't the purpose of this video though. I'm not explaining to you about the route, you know about that now. I've mentioned it before, even now. I've done a in-depth thing, I could just end the video here. But me being me, I thought, well, today I would try out sort of CityLink and Ember's offering on the route, to sort of differentiate between the two and figure out which one is best. Because a couple of weeks ago, I made a Flixbus video travelling between Inverness and Aviemore, well, Perth. That was cool. I enjoyed that thoroughly. I went on a nice Mercedes Turismo. And then I decided that, well, because I'd done that one, I thought, well, let's try out CityLink and see what offerings they have. I ended up going on a Van Hool, ended up not enjoying it that much. I ended up realising Flixbus was actually better in the offering of vehicle I had that day, although I specified in the video things do differentiate between vehicles on the routes, as in like bigger vehicles, smaller vehicles, a lot of variation between types and different operators and companies that have sort of CityLink contracts, with McGill's having sort of 3 types of vehicle that they use on the Flixbus contract. So, with that said, I decided to take a trip on the M90 from Inverness to Aviemore in the morning. I think, when was it? Trying to think what date it was. The 8th, something like that. yeah, 2 days ago, the 8th of the 10th, no, the 8th of the 11th, 2025. Took a trip on the 9 o'clock M90 service to Aviemore, which got me there for about, what, 9:45, give or take, something like that, about a 45-minute, 40-minute run, not too long, not too short, a nice length of time to sort of, well, experience the bus and share with you the differences between what I took later in the day, which was Ember's offering on board one of their Yutong GTE 14 coaches. So then, the day began at Inverness bus station. I boarded the coach as usual, just like sort of got on with my Scott card and followed the same procedure as when I actually did the CityLink video. Travelling to Aviemore, same thing, scan your card, sit down, driver does a little safety briefing thing, hey, put your seatbelts on, stuff like that. The coach that I went on was a Volvo B13 RLET Volvo 9700 DD, operated by Stagecoach North Scotland, and it was 50519. That is the bus number that I went on. Photos here, very cool indeed. Ooh, second time I've done that. It's getting old now, isn't it? Anyway, I went on that, and the bus itself, yeah, just a coach. Basic features, really. Not got too much to it. I mean, it's a nice coach. It's new. It's 74 plate. So it's got you all singing, all dancing features. Charging ports with USB A and C ports, as you can see there, integrated within the table, which is included with most seats. Yeah, very cool. A little flip down table there. You can put your phone in it, rest it as it charges. Very cool. The bus itself doesn't have Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi available on the CityLink coaches. Not that I could find. Similar to Flixbus in that when I did that video, it was available, but just not actually connecting at all. I'm not fussed. I'm not on the bus to look at my phone. I'm just on the bus to sort of get from A to B, if you know what I mean. And the seats themselves on the Volvo 9700 DD, which I got, at least comparing it to sort of other CityLink buses, as mentioned, they differentiate between vehicles, so obviously different vehicles are going to have different arrangements and different features. Basic features, less features, more features, whatever. But the 9700 DD is kind of the sort of backbone, as I tapped my neck for some reason, of the CityLink fleet in 2025. Anyway, sat down, looked at the features, pretty basic, like I said, chargers, stuff like that. Normal stuff, you see, a little bit of reclining on the seat, not much available within that. Lights above, there's a fancy feature that you tap and it's like, ooh, so it's not a physical button you press, it's like a screen, but it is a button. It's not like a clicky button, it's just a tappy button. That's terrible at explaining. I hope you saw in that little clip that I showed you there. I hope you did. If not, you'll just have to go on one yourself, won't you? So, with that said, that was that. The bus left at 9 o'clock for the standard run all the way to Aviemore. Aviemore is the first stop after Inverness for the route. Got to Aviemore, got off. That was the basic principle of that. So then, moving on to Ember then. The CityLink bus, yeah, nothing really much to sing about. I mean, it's a nice coach. If I was rating it, not that I am, I'd probably rate it something like, what, 7.5 out of 10? I'm not doing some sort of rating system, but you know what I mean. Some sort of numbers varying between what I've just said in that margin. Not too high, not too low, because it did its job. It got me to where I was wanting to go. And they offered basic features for the free price that I paid with my NEC card. Would I want to travel one all the way from Inverness to Edinburgh though? Probably not. The seats were like quite low. My head stuck out the top. I know I'm quite tall. I've got a good posture, I hope, as I slump to film this video. But with that said, the coach itself, it was just quite basic. It's just, well, it's nice, it's new, that's good. It could be better, could be worse. And hopefully I've covered that in this little brief section. So then, moving on to Ember. In Aviemore, they're obviously recently started there, so all of their timetables are now showing on the little doodah screen. So they've got their little square things saying services to Inverness on that side of the road heading north. On the other side of the road, outside of the railway station, which is where they stop, the main stop in Aviemore, very convenient. It says services to Glasgow and Edinburgh, obviously the E9 and E8 services. Very cool. So, I booked a seat on the, what was it, 1252 service? I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think that was my service, 1252, from Aviemore to Inverness, and it was roughly about a half an hour trip, slightly less than CityLink, but I mean, it takes the same distance because it's just traffic and stuff. Could be late, could be early. It just all is a factor of traffic. And with traffic works around like the Moy area that you've probably seen in the previous two videos, things are being slowed up anyway, and things are getting a little bit later. But it's fine, I'm not waffling on about lateness, I don't care about that. All I was here for is the bus ride and just comparing it indirectly to CityLink to show you the two offerings on the route. So then, I booked my ticket. Like I said, there was, I think, 40 seats available because they're using the Yutong GTE 14 coaches on the route, their newest sort of vehicle in the Ember fleet. Very nice coaches. I've been on one before when I did my E6 video. Very cool, and I've obviously been on another one since, and I obviously didn't film it, but I've been on the E7 route to Aviemore, to Aberdeen even. Aviemore's stuck in my head. To Aberdeen Airport and Aberdeen, and they're nice coaches, suitable for all routes. Very cool indeed. So, I got on the bus, scanned my ticket. Alright, that's me. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers. The driver knew that it was just me because, well, I was the only one booked on from the stop, so he just was like, Henry, and I was like, yeah, that's me. Scanned my ticket on the doodah. Scan my ticket? No. He did it manually on the thing, scanned my card on the little card reader there, very cool he did, and I sat down on the front seat because it was available, but as I was walking down I saw that the bus was quite busy, which is already good, and also comparing that to CityLink, like just moderately, the CityLink bus was as busy, if not busier, but obviously the Ember service has just started, but will probably pick up as the sort of route gets more advertised, more promotion, and more, like I said, more like known and more highly rated and more me making videos on it. Very cool. So, sat down, front seat, good view, open panoramic views. Seat itself, very nice. As I mentioned in the E6 video, nice and high, you can sit straight. They've got a nice adjustable headrest behind you there that you can twist around your head. This looks weird, doesn't it? I don't know what I'm doing. You can like twist it around your head and you can get comfy and sit and you can sit up straight. The recline feature basically just does this. And you can sit flat, which is very awesome. That was probably really weird, wasn't it? And other features such as charging ports and stuff like that were also available with USB-A and USB-C chargers underneath the seats on a little clip thing. Hopefully the clips are reflecting that. And legroom was very good, even at the front, but obviously further back in the bus. I've not tried those seats out on a video, but they're all roughly the same on that bus. Also, the legroom on the CityLink bus wasn't as good either. They sort of crammed more seats into a smaller space, upstairs and down, and I couldn't stretch really. I was just sitting in the middle at the back, just so I could at least sort of not get cramp in every single part of my body. Ooh, CityLink. But with that said, the Ember bus, they've got 55 seats, I think, the Yutong GTE 14 coaches, and they're all numbered at the top in little blue things. So if you have booked a seat or you've reserved one or whatever, you know where it is, easy to find. But like I said, 55 seats, standard number on that type of coach. Seats themselves, like I said, very nice, very high, very comfortable. I could happily sit in one of those all the way from Edinburgh to Inverness, or Inverness to Edinburgh, or Inverness to Glasgow, and I would not have cramp all over my body like I would with a different type of vehicle. With that said, the journey was also very pleasant. I filmed some clips. I'll let you see them after, because, well, I'm kind of showing you the route, aren't I? And I'm trying to promote it and trying to advertise it. Very cool. I've done that too much, haven't I? Yes. But with that said, the journey was fantastic. Got to Inverness on time, and, well, yeah, definitely beats CityLink completely. But the thing with Ember, like I said, they obviously have a policy, so it's all pre-booked, which CityLink isn't, which I've also covered all before, and you know all this if you watch, but I'll briefly run you through it again. It's all pre-booked. You can't just turn up unless you're there 10 minutes before. They give you a sort of curfew or curtain time, which is very good. You can be there 10 minutes before and you can book then. That's the latest, and the driver will stop, deviate off route. But if nobody's booked on and nobody's there within 10 minutes of the route going past, the bus can just go whoosh and sail straight past Aviemore, so it might not always stop there. So that is a good thing. Saved going into places, wasting time, becoming late when you could just go past. And, well, obviously it's all connected to the same sort of system on the computer and stuff like that. The driver knows who's getting on, which is a good thing. Obviously, I'd booked on an Aviemore, so the bus came off the A9 up near sort of the King Craig junction. You probably know the area. Very cool looking little map. Ooh. And came into the town and sort of made its way to the railway station, picked me up, and then set off straight away. Saw a few routes earlier as well, with plenty of other people on getting on and off, which is very good to see. Straight away, must mean people are using it, must mean they're, like, well, doing good things, and not running directly in competition, but sort of giving people options. Say, if you wanted to travel from Aviemore to, I'm just looking, Perth city centre. You don't now have to go to Broxton and then get a separate service into city. You can just use the Ember bus to go from Aviemore into Perth at Leonard Street, which is, well, really close to the bus station and the centre of Perth. Anyway, which is fantastic. So yeah, like I said, it's awesome to see. Ember's here. Ember's coming again with probably a better service than the other two. Something I'm slightly, not concerned about, but something I'm slightly curious about and just wondering, what's the other companies going to sort of react to this? How are they going to, like, cope? I know Ember's not stealing passengers, but if passengers who, say, used to get the M90 are now just going on to the E9, are CityLink going to cut back their services? I know they've got the winter timetable in place now, so services don't run as late and they're not as frequent. They're still quite frequent, like every hour or so, but not as frequent as the summer timetable, with more services going north and south. But that's something that I'll have to figure out in the future. If any progressions happen with the service, like sort of, well, more stops get added, because currently they're just running express, both of the services. Just in the meantime, I don't know when it's going to start with all the stops. But I guess they'll add stops in places like, I don't know, Carbridge maybe, places like that. Probably Newtonmore as well. I'm just looking at where it stops currently. The E9 stops at Edinburgh, the airport as well, so that's good. So you can get from Inverness to Edinburgh airport without having to go into the city. That's also beating sort of the other two companies. They don't do that. They just stop at the park and ride just outside the airport. So you have to walk or get another bus. And it's just a faff. Just making things more convenient. Starting things earlier, like I said, offering better stops, not wasting time having to wait about and stuff, knowing who's getting on the bus, and just all sorts of good. With that said, I will now leave you with some clips that I filmed on board the E9 journey from Aviemore to Inverness. And, well, at the end, I will leave a couple of photos for you to see as well, just so you can get an idea of the route. I'll leave some links in the description box below for the routes as well, the E8 and the E9, as well as the CityLink route, because, you know, I've got to share it somewhere. Some CityLink fans might be getting angry at me. And no, this is not a video to hate CityLink or diss CityLink. I like them. They also provide a good service, getting people from A to B. Very good. But I'm just saying there is other options available now that are damn sight better. So with that said, thanks for watching. I will see you people on the next one. Bye!
beside the stagecoach bit.
No. Oh, right on the harbour. That's just